Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Jackie and welcome to my channel, Leisure Reads. Today I'm going to be bringing you a book haul. I don't typically buy that many books. This past month I went a little crazy and bought a bunch, but typically I don't buy very many books. I try to keep costs low by reading the books I already have on my bookshelf that I haven't read yet, and getting books that I'd like to read from the library and bringing them home to read. These are the books I recently picked up from Book Outlet. Let's get started. So the first book I have for you guys today is Parallel Journeys by Eleanor Ayer, Helen Waterford, and Alphonse Heck. This book is a Holocaust biography book that follows the life of Helen Waterford and Alphonse Heck. Helen Waterford was a young German Jew, and Alphonse Heck was a member of the Hitler Youth. So this book follows their two stories and how drastically different their lives became during the war. So I'm really excited to read this book. I really enjoy reading Holocaust memoirs and biographies. I think it's really important to read their stories and give them a voice in the world. The next book I have for you guys today is Code Orange by Caroline B. Cooney. So this book was recently shown on my 2018 Booktubeathon TBR. I decided not to read this book. It was going to be for the challenge, Read a Book with a Beautiful Spine. However, I just wasn't really in the mood to read this time around, so I changed my mind up. However, I am excited to read this book. If you guys don't know, this book follows a high school student named Mitty Blake, who is a pretty carefree guy. He doesn't worry so much about terrorists, blackouts, or even school. However, one weekend, he's at his family's weekend house and decides to open up some medical books to get a report done for school. When he opens up the medical book, he finds two scabs in an envelope, and the report he is writing quickly goes from being less about a grade and more about life and death. So this book is just a bioterrorism book with the potential of a virus that can take down everyone in New York City unless Mitty can find a way to solve the problem. This book just sounded really interesting to me. I don't typically read a lot of books like this, so I'm hoping that if I read this book and really enjoy it, this can be something that I add to my everyday reading. The next book I have for you guys today is The Thousandth Floor by Katharine McGee. I'm going to be honest, this book I bought because I thought it was just completely beautiful. There's something about this gold cursive that will get me every time. I just think it's beautiful. The beautiful gold skyscraper going right on the front and along the spine, I just thought was really beautiful, and it made me want to read it. So this book follows 5 teenagers living in 2118 in New York City. They live in a 1,000th floor skyscraper. They're struggling to find their place in the world amid high advancement and high-tech luxury. I think I'll really enjoy this book with its high-tech and advancement, along with people still struggling with everyday problems like we currently have today. The next book I have for you guys today is The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. So I'm going to be honest, this was another impulse buy. I just think it's a beautiful cover. It has this really pretty purple starry night scene with the cabin down below. There's just something about it that I really enjoy. I really think it's pretty. And the title really catches my interest and makes me wonder what this book is about. So this book follows 4 people who live in Alaska, and together they must find the strength, courage, and heart to survive the Alaskan frontier. This book just sounds really interesting to me. I'm always looking for more books that take place in Alaska. I recently read The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, and I really loved the book. I thought learning about Alaska being this frontier was really interesting, and I really enjoyed it. So hopefully this book will be another great frontier book that I'll really enjoy. The next book I have for you guys today I'm really excited about, and that is Challenger Deep by Neal Shusterman. I picked this book up because of another book that I bought, which I'll show you in a minute. But I don't really know too much about this book other than the main character, Caden Bosch, struggles with mental illness. I prefer to be completely in the dark about this book, so I don't have any expectations going into it, and I can really find myself immersed in this book and hopefully love it. So I paid about $5 for this book. It came in the mail from Book Outlet, and when I got it, I noticed that it is a signed edition Neil Shusterman signed this book at some point along its journey, and it made its way to me. So I'm really excited to own this book. It is a National Book Award winner, as you can see right here. So I'm excited to have it, and I look forward to reading it. So the next book I have for you guys today is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This book is the reason I picked up Challenger Deep. I had heard great things about this book and great things about Neil Shusterman, so I decided to not only pick up Scythe, but also pick up Challenger Deep. So, if you don't know, Scythe is about a world in which there is no hunger, no disease, no misery, no war. The only thing that can take a life in this world is what's known as a scythe. This book follows two main characters, Citra and Rowan, who are both training to become scythes. They're learning to master the art of death. Throughout this book, they also must learn that living in a perfect world comes with a high price. This book sounded really interesting to me. I really enjoy dystopian type novels, such as The Hunger Games. So I figured I'd pick this book up, give it a read, and see where it takes me. So the next book I have for you guys today, I've heard widely talked about on YouTube, and that is Caravel by Stephanie Garber. So, if you don't know, Caravel follows two sisters, Scarlet and her sister Tella. Tella gets kidnapped by the Caravel mastermind, and she becomes the center of the Caravel, as others have to try to find her in order to win. Her sister Scarlet gets involved and tries to find Tella before Caravel closes, or she risks losing her forever. I ultimately picked this book up because I've recently read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein, and I really loved the circus vibes that book gave off. So I'm hoping that this book, Caravel, will give me those same type of circus feels, and I'll just really enjoy being immersed in another circus. The next book I have for you guys today is American Street by E.B. Ziboy. So this book follows Fabiola, who is a young girl moving from Haiti to Detroit. On her way, Fabiola's mother gets detained by U.S. immigration, leaving her with her cousins in Detroit. Fabiola now has to learn how to navigate her new life while still holding on to her old, and find her way in the United States while learning that freedom is not free. I picked this book up because I recently read The Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and I absolutely loved that book. I thought it was great with the way it incorporated the culture and the religion in the main character's daily life. And I've heard great things about this book, so I'm excited to start reading it and hopefully learn more about the Haitian culture. The next 4 books I have for you guys today are actually the books that my husband picked up from Book Outlet, but I figured I'd go ahead and show them to you guys anyway, especially considering some of them look pretty interesting and I might go ahead and pick them up and read them too. So the first book I have for you guys today is The Revenant by Michael Punk. So this book, if you don't know, is the story of Hugh Glass. Hugh Glass was a mountain man who came face to face with a grizzly bear, was mauled, and left for dead by his teammates. Fueled by rage, Hugh Glass crawls and walks his way across hundreds of miles of uncharted American frontier. If this sounds familiar, it's because it was recently made into a movie by Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's a real-life story. So, my husband enjoyed the movie The Revenant, and wanted to know more about Hugh Glass, so he decided to pick this book up. So the next book I have for you guys today is First They Killed My Father by Lang Un. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize. The author was one of 7 children born to a high-ranking official in the Cambodian government. When the Khmer Rouge came in 1975, her family had to flee. She was trained as a child soldier while her siblings were sent to labor camps. So this book is the story of the author and her family during the Khmer Rouge reign in Cambodia. So my husband decided to pick this book up because his best friend lived in Cambodia for many years and would often talk of the Khmer Rouge, and my husband doesn't really know that much about it, so he wanted to pick this book up and learn some more about it so he could have some educated discussions with his best friend. The next book I have for you guys today is The North Water by Ian McGuire. This book is about Henry Drax, a harpooner on the Volunteer, which is a Yorkshire whaler heading to the Arctic Circle. Also on this trip is Patrick Sumner, an ex-army surgeon with a shattered reputation. Trapped in the wooden belly of the boat with Drax, he encounters pure evil and is forced to act. So this book just sounded really interesting to my husband. He recently read The Terror, which was made into an AMC TV series. He absolutely loved the book, thought it was well written and really interesting. This book sounded kind of similar to him, so he decided he'd pick this up and give it a read as well. The final book I have for you guys today is Black Elk, The Life of an American Visionary by Joe Jackson. This book tells the story of Black Elk's life. Black Elk was a Native American holy man who killed his first man at the Battle of Little Bighorn, witnessed the death of his second cousin Crazy Horse, and traveled with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. He later embraced Catholicism, but continued to practice the old ways and never refrained from seeking meaning in his visions that both haunted and inspired him. So this book just sounded really interesting to my husband. He typically enjoys learning about the Old West days and people who lived in them, so he picked this book up hoping to learn a little bit more about Black Elk. So that's it. Those are all the books I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. The links are in the description below. I hope to see you guys soon, and in the meantime, make it a great day. Bye!